Well, hi there. Thank you so much for joining me today. I have been sitting here with my coffee thinking. Thinking gets us in trouble a lot of times, but I was just thinking, it's a wonder. I wonder how many times the good Lord has interceded for me and saved me from tragedy, or saved me from a wreck, or saved me from some circumstance. And it's something we should probably sit down and be grateful for and think about. You know how you come upon a wreck and you think, oh, if I'd have just been here 2 or 3 minutes earlier, it could have been me. And maybe the good Lord delayed you, or something happened to keep you from that. I believe the good Lord does intercede for us that way. Well, I want to tell you about a story that I know the good Lord interceded for me without a doubt. I was 7 years old, and my dad worked for Phillips 66. And we lived in Cactus, Texas, which is in the north top of Texas. And it was a settlement for Phillips 66 employees, maybe 200 people, I'm guessing. Well, I was 7 years old, and I don't know, that would have made me about the second grade. And I was, one day, I was playing detective, Sherlock Holmes, whoever. And I got down my dad's box of World War II souvenirs. I'll set my coffee down for just a second. And it's just a little box. And I had no idea what was in it, but I went and got it. And I went and got this. And this is called, my mother always called it a tack hammer. And it's a pretty heavy little dude. And it unscrews, and you got you a screwdriver. Well, I opened up the box, and there was all kinds of bullets and badges and pins and patches and all kinds of stuff. Well, I got out this bullet, and later I learned that it was a German Luger bullet. And I held it in my hand, and I was going to test it to see if it was the one that killed the victim. And I was going to catch the killer. So anyway, I go with this in, and I'm holding the bullet, and I just go 1, 2, 3, tap, tap, tap. The third try, tap, tap, it exploded. And blew all the skin off of my hands, blew my hands. And the very core of the bullet went into the linoleum about 3 feet, just buried, slid right across the top and buried into it. And the outside of the bullet, the shrapnel, kind of just coiled into a scrappy, rough coil, and it went right in my stomach. Blew a hole about that big. And I don't remember at the time how many stitches I had to have in my stomach. Put me back together. I don't know what they did inside of me. And I had stitches in this hand. I don't think I had any in this hand, but I did in this. Still got the scars right across there. And the little boy, see, our apartments were nothing but army barracks back in those days. And they were just shoved up against each other, up against the wall. And the little boy in the apartment behind us, the explosion knocked the little boy out of bed. Of course, he wasn't very high off the floor, but anyway, that's the massive explosion of it all. Then there was a white light like you've just not ever seen. It was, I've never seen one since, but it was a white light that just enveloped the whole room, and it blinded me for, it seems like it was 2 or 3 hours. It was just to the point where I just couldn't see things real good and couldn't make out things, but it cleared up as time went on. So I know how fortunate I was, because the doctors told my mom and dad that if the core of that bullet would have hit me and gone, I would be instantly dead. So why it went that way and the shrapnel went this way, and who knows, but I really believe with all my heart that the Lord interceded for me and I survived it. I remember, as a child, you're not putting two and two together, and you don't know what death is, and you don't know how close you came. And I didn't think about things like that, back then. In fact, I kind of, it's going to sound strange, but I became an instant celebrity. A reporter came and interviewed me from Amarillo, the big city of Amarillo, and it was in the papers, and I had more gifts brought to that hospital, in coloring books and crayons and puzzles and flowers and anything you could think of, balloons, and I ate it up. I enjoyed being a celebrity. In my little mind, I just did not realize how close to death I had come. So, and I want you just to think a moment and maybe think about all the times that maybe you were spared. And we've all had close calls, but have we ever stopped to think that maybe it was the Lord's intercession that saved us and helped us? So that's all I got today. I thank you for spending time with me. And I know that if you're a follower of nickel and dime decor, you've already heard this story, and I apologize, but people on Coffee with Granny haven't ever heard it. So, from my tack hammer to yours, thank you for coming.